It's been chaotic. It has been chaotic. Yeah, case is delayed, baby. It's delayed. You're looking in your class and they're like, oh, they're so much smarter than me, and they're just getting it in clinic so much faster than me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up? What's going on? Where's T? Listen, I am currently on my way to work. Today is Thursday. Today we're just going to be doing ortho cases because there's going to be one surgeon and he will have 2 rooms. He's a very, very fast surgeon. So it'll be me and another AA, and we will go between 2 rooms. I thought normally, I'm trying to guess how many cases he has, because it's common for him to get 3 rooms, but of course 3 rooms you need 3 AAs, 3 teams. So I don't know if maybe they're understaffed, or maybe he just doesn't have that many too many cases today. But really quick surgeon, so me and Kaylee will be flipping today. So she'll probably do the first one, or I'll do the first one, whatever, she'll do the second one. We'll kind of go back and forth like that. But it will be probably a bunch of knees, shoulders, hips, those types of things. So I am on my way to get my day started with that. Let me tell y'all something. I am so excited that we're in October. It's a new month, and I really, really needed that. September was not the month for anesthesia, okay? And I don't just mean for me. I don't know what was in the air. I don't know what it is about September this year. But the anesthesia has, we like boring. We like safe and boring, okay? Those are the 2 favorite words when you're doing anesthesia, okay? And September was not that. And I mean, it's just laryngospasm, bronchospasm, coding, aspirations. It's been chaotic. It has been chaotic. And I will say, I don't know what they consider the hospitals here to be. I don't think they're level 1, but we do sometimes I be like, y'all sure? Because some of the patients do be a bit sicker and stuff, but I'm sure it's not level 1. But it is very much giving me at least level 1.5, level 2 sometimes, okay? But for the most part, it'd be chill. But September, no ma'am, no ham, no gravy. So I'm very excited that we are in October. It's like a fresh start, and all the things. Oh, there was last for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying, let's move on, okay? Also, it is fall time, and I was kind of worried living in El Paso that it wouldn't really feel like fall because it's just so hot here. And when I was asking around, asking other people, when do y'all get fall, whatever, they were kind of you're gonna get fall for 3 days and that's it. And I was like, I'm about to go back to North Carolina for a few days. I need to see a little something. But actually, it's been cooling down. It's not cold, and during the day it does still get hot. But I think because I have to be up so early and running these streets, that I get the feeling of the fallness, if that makes sense. So Starbucks and them, they dropped their pumpkin spice or whatever a while ago at this point. But I didn't want to indulge because to me it just didn't feel like fall. And so now I'm kind of getting the fall vibe. So I actually got me a little pumpkin spice ice shaken espresso this morning for my house, because your girl has been better on her barista skills, okay? So yeah, I'm also glad that it's October because, like I said, it's a fresh start. This is October the 2nd-ish, I think. And there are just some things that I want to get done personally. Okay, there are some things that I'm building towards. If y'all didn't watch the Get Ready With Me kind of Atlanta series, go back over there and watch it, and you'll know what type of vibe I'm on. But lately, the books I have been reading and the podcasts I've been watching have been very much about kind of letting go, not really living in the past. Where you look to, you will go, okay? And I mean across multiple kind of platforms has been the message that I've been getting. So I think God is really screaming at me right now, which I love, because hello, increase my sensitivity, Lord, so that I can discern your voice from mine. Your will be done. Amen. because I don't know what I'm doing. So I started with, I think the first book was Don't Look Back by Christine Caine, which that makes sense because, I got that book at the conference, but it was really good. It was, the whole book was about, Lot's wife and how she looked back when they were fleeing or whatever, or being rescued, rather. And she looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt. She kind of makes you think about, well, like, maybe why did she look back? Like, like today we're kind of like, why would she look back if they just told her, like, whatever you do, like, just don't look back here, and she did it anyway. And basically Christine was like, she looked back because that was her home. And that's where she was comfortable. And she was leaving a lot of things. And I think for us, when we're wanting to do something new and we're stuck where we are because we don't want to leave what we know, we are comfortable with being comfortable. Nobody wants to be uncomfortable, but growth is in the uncomfortable, okay? And no matter how hard or painful it is to let things go, we have to do it so that we can get to the next place that God wants us to go, right? So I say that because it kind of fits anywhere in life, whether you are about to start AA school or you are thinking about starting AA school, and now they have more schools, but sometimes school requires you to get up and leave your home and leave what you knew. Also, like, AA school is not like any other school. I don't think it's not really like college. I don't really know how they're working now, but I'm pretty sure, like, when I was in there, you didn't have time for a job. Like, your job was, study and be in clinic all day. So leaving the comfortability of making money and always knowing where your money is going to come from, and like, this is hard, I've never done it before, let me stick to what I know, especially if you're changing careers or something like that, like leaving what you know to try something totally new. But I will say, everything in life worth having, everything, those life-changing things, those big things, they require you to be uncomfortable. There will always be a sacrifice. There will always be something to pay in order to get there, but it's so worth it at the end. And I know that that's hard to see while you're in it, okay? But I think what gets me through those moments, because while I am already working, I face new challenges every day, like on the business aspect in other endeavors that I'm in. Like, I'm doing new things that I don't have experience in, and that can be scary. But what I know is when God calls you to do something, He's already went ahead to straighten out the path, okay? He's already worked it out for you. So even if you don't know what it's going to look like at the end, it's not your job to know what it's going to look like at the end. It's just your job to go. Does that make sense? And having faith in the fact that He will never set you up to lose. It is definitely a fight already won, okay? Hold on, guys. I'm going to order breakfast because I'm actually pretty early, and I love that for me. But yeah, so I think that, what's been getting me through, and y'all, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I have been more in my book, so I am proud of myself about that, about being consistent and being intentional with my time with God, and not just reading to be like, oh, I read it, you know what I mean? Reading for understanding and for strength and what to do in today, There are things when I feel like my mind is filled with fears and doubts and those things, where I can refer to the word and be like, fear is not your portion, girl, and just remembering, who God is and who Jesus is and how they want to prosper you. You know what I mean? So I think that slight reminder of when I'm worried, worry, don't worry about anything, pray about everything. So I'm telling y'all, like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna push y'all to read y'all word a little bit. And I can say it because I haven't always been the most, like, I've been a little judgy with the Bible before in the past. And I mean judgy after I kind of already read it through or whatever. But I think that my heart posture has just changed, and I know what I'm looking for. And there are things that I seek that only He can give me. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, you need weapons in your mind to get you through those, like, oh, what if it doesn't work out? What if you fail? What if you weren't meant to do this? This seems so hard. Or you're looking in your class and they're like, oh, they're so much smarter than me, and they're just getting it in clinic so much faster than me. And that's not your portion. It's not. It's not. You belong in the room, okay? And that's the other thing. So I actually watch, y'all know, like the Mel Robbins interview podcast type of thing. So I recently watched one, and it was an interview between her and Will Packer, the producer. And like, he was kind of talking about producing the blockbuster version of your life, right? So he talked about how you are the producer of things in your life, so it's your job to bring certain things together, so that you can live the life that you want to live. You can live the life of your dreams, types of things, but it's your job to put those things in place so that you can live that life. And one of the things he says is like, who better than you? I think sometimes we get so caught up in, oh, do I deserve this, and I'm not good enough type of thing. But there was a lot of emphasis on, you are the best person in the best position to do the job. And if you weren't, God would not have you there. And that's just what it is. Whatever room it is that you walk into, understand that not only do you belong in the room, you make the room better. And I believe that. I truly believe that. I think it's against you to think that you don't make the room better, because you are a child of God. And the way that DNA works, God is creative. God is awesome. So you can be creative. You can be awesome. You can always add. You're always adding. There's no one else in the room that's you, because if they were you, they wouldn't need you in the room. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't be there, and God would see that and then push you to where you need to be. Okay, so I know that this is a rant, but I say all those things to say, y'all can do whatever y'all want to do for real. And I mean, that's whether you're doing AA stuff or whatever it is that you want to do. AA, CRNA, you're going to go be a nurse, you're going to go be a chemist, you're going to be a hairstylist, you're going to go start YouTube or whatever it is that you want to do. Go do it. I get a lot of people ask me, am I too old to start this career? Your job is not done until Jesus call you home and you at home. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it's ever too late to pivot, ever. I think that if you have the mindset and you have the dedication and you know what you want to do, age is a number, and your job is not done until you are resting in the ground. Okay, so do what you want to do. Live your best life. Live it. Like, you could be 80 years old and be like, you know what, I want to start painting. Go do it. Go buy you some paintbrushes. I will say, it doesn't always take everything to make everything happen. I am one of those people who, I'm definitely like a perfectionist and not quite to my benefit. Okay, so I feel like even with starting YouTube, I felt like I needed to have the best camera stuff and the best editing things. Mind y'all, I don't really know how to edit like that. We getting better, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I felt like I needed to have the best tools to start. When my first video that I put out was about failing the boards, and that was on my phone. I didn't have no camera. I mean, the camera was on my phone. So you already have everything that you need to start and get going within yourself. And I'm definitely learning that and embracing that. So if y'all seeing me do it, y'all can do it. Because I'm just a little girl from the South. Okay, y'all can do anything for real. But anyway, I am going to try to eat my breakfast. And then I'll go in and see what the board kind of looks like. I think I'm the only one here, which makes sense because it's just about to be 7 o'clock. And we're not going to start till 8 o'clock. So I have time to kind of sit here and eat and do all the things. So I'll see y'all in a minute. Good morning, you guys. So I know that last time we talked was actually yesterday, and I was on my way to work. So the cases yesterday actually weren't bad. And like I said, the surgeon is very quick. So it was like just like maybe like a knee scope, some hand stuff, couple shoulders, whatever like that. But and then we ended up doing 3 rooms because there were actually 3 AAs. But I think that some of the procedures took just a bit longer than what was anticipated. Just because, like, a lot of times I feel like they don't really know until they get in there for real. Like the imaging don't always tell the whole truth. But everything worked out. Like all the patients did well or whatever like that. But so I did end up leaving a little later than what I feel like we could have left. But it was still a very productive day for me. So between cases, I kind of did some editing because, like I said, we had 3 rooms. So once I do my case, 2 other AAs, they'll do their cases, and then it'll be my turn again. So I had some time in between to like get some editing done. So I was a very productive girly yesterday. And then after that, I just kind of went home, the dinner, all the regular things. And then like I just kind of chilled, y'all. I've been very intentional with myself, especially with like self-care, and I mean self-care across the board, mentally, spiritually, physically, and all of the things. Just being very intentional with my body and my mind and my thoughts, all those things. So I got to do one of those spa day showers. If y'all know the spa day shower, basically like you take your regular shower, your first level you cleansing, your second level is probably like whatever body wash you like that smells good, that'll kind of stick with you. Third, like you do like a little body scrub, and then I like to use the I think it's called like, I'm gonna just put it in here because I'm not about to mess it up, just to kind of keep the moisture and add that back to your body. It was wonderful. It was beautiful, okay? And then laid down, spent some time with God, and it was just great. Then I went to sleep. So that was my day yesterday. I'm typically, this is the thing, when y'all start working, and it might be different because y'all energy might be set up a little bit different than mine. But even though, and I say this all the time, even though anesthesia is not always physically demanding, like most is like, you move patients over, you're pushing the beds. Sometimes the beds are annoying, but you're not pushing the beds all day, every day. You know what I mean? And hopefully all your patients aren't heavy if you are pushing the beds all day, every day. But for the most part, it's more so of a mental exercise because you have to pay attention. You're thinking ahead. You're thinking in the past. I mean, you're doing all of those things, So that stuff can take a toll on your mind, and it makes you physically tired. So I'm always like, when I get off work, I want to do this, I want to do that, other productive things. And sometimes I just can't do it. Like I just don't have the energy to do it. So I'm kind of working on being more gentle with myself and understanding like, okay, girl, I know you want to do all this stuff, but you also have a full-time job. Like, let's not forget about that. Because I think you get caught up in seeing other people do so many things, but some of them not working full-time jobs for real. So yeah, it's not the same. But yeah, so I'm working on giving myself grace and taking my time with things that I want to get done. And that comes with organization and, setting my priorities and all the things to make things a little bit easier for me. But yeah, so I got to relax a bit yesterday. I drank some cherry juice. Y'all, cherry juice, if y'all can't sleep at night, drink the cherry juice. Like, I know they got the thing where they add like the magnesium and all that stuff. I don't got all that. All I got is some good cherry juice, and I be knocked out, okay? But anyway, today we are going to work at the hospital today. And again, we have an 8 a.m. start. The board actually, I don't like saying the board don't look bad, because then, like, I don't know, it don't look bad, but then, like, the stuff that you think ain't gonna take that long, you be in there like 6 hours for real. So let's just say, the day's looking how the day's looking, okay? I don't know which one I'm doing, because sometimes they'll let me know what cases or what surgeon I'm working with, and then sometimes you just figure it out once you get there, look at the board, and see what you're attached to. So it's fine. Either way, it's fine. You show up in good time, it's okay. I feel like sometimes I do show y'all like a little bit of like me setting up at the hospital, but I'm gonna be real with y'all, everything is the same. I mean, your airways, that's the good thing, like you about this, like you set up your routines, you make sure you have everything you have, and for the most part it's all pretty much the same stuff, unless you're doing surgeries that maybe are a little bit like longer. So maybe you need an A line, or you have patients that are sicker, so you need extra lines, like extra IV lines, a line, have someone set up for a central line, which, I mean, if you're doing that stuff, or like, I don't know, just kind of feel like it's the same, you know? Like you have your airway stuff, you have your drugs, you have all your ASA monitors, your machine is checked, you have gas in your machine, your suction works, like, I don't know. So it's kind of like, I don't want to keep showing y'all same stuff. I feel like a lot of anesthesia stuff is very repetitive, okay? It's the same game, different player. And I feel like I say that all the time, but I mean, it's true. You adjust minor things depending on, you know, who you're playing with. But for the most part, you have a foundation. And so I will probably get there probably around 6:45-ish and see what I'm doing today. Pre-op, whoever I have. So, you know, if you don't know what pre-op means, that means that I go to where they keep the patients, where they're holding them before they have their surgery, and I just kind of interview them, ask them all the questions that I need to ask them that are going to affect my anesthesia care. Like, you know, what type of meds are they on? When's the last time they had something to eat or drink? Y'all, that is so important, actually. I've had so many patients be like, oh, I haven't had anything to eat since 7 p.m. yesterday. I said, okay, cool. So nothing after 12. No coffee. This is the thing. No coffee this morning. Oh, I had a little bit of coffee. Okay. What was in the coffee? Did you have it black? Oh, well, I had a little creamer. Yeah. Case is delayed, baby. It's delayed. So I will say, be intentional on asking your questions. And I'm not saying call your patients liars, but you do have to have a little bit of discernment, because especially, like, I'm not trying to be funny, but especially like with the men, because I don't know what it is. It's like, I don't know if they don't think that it's as important, or they think, it's okay. But like, normally when the wife come in, okay, what we doing? Yeah, I don't know what it is, but normally when the wife comes in, I'll ask again. I will say, okay, so just coffee this morning, no creamer. And then you look at the wife, and the wife goes, I mean, he had a little bit of, you know, like that stuff is important. Like, patients don't understand how important like those types of things are, because they say, no, I haven't had anything. You go to the OR and you're like, okay, well, it's a knee scope, let's do an LMA, you know, and now they're aspirating and you don't really have a protective airway, and you know what I mean. So just be intentional and get your discernment up with your patients. And I'll also say the same thing for the older patients, not necessarily that they're being like, they're not trying to tell you everything, but a lot of times they just don't remember. Especially they don't remember if they took their meds this morning or what meds they've taken, especially if they're also on a lot of meds. And sometimes they'll have someone with them who can kind of tell them, but a lot of times like they'll have someone with them who don't know their routine, you know what I mean? So with them, you just have to really look at the chart, and you know, just be very like detailed and get as much information as you can from them, but also from the chart. Okay. So pre-opping is important. You find out some vital information. Also, you can figure out what your airway look like before you get back there, because you'll look at somebody and you'll be like when you do this for a while, you'll look at somebody and you'll be like, oh, okay, like they look like they're a good weight. Like I feel like I'll be able to bag mask them, like airway look pretty good. And then you get in the OR and you don't, and like, let's just say you don't ask them to open their mouth or nothing, and you get in the OR and it's like, oh, you can't open your mouth for real. Oh, like your teeth kind of like, they're not big, but they impeding where I need to go. Or, oh, you got bridges, I didn't know that, it's just stuff like that. And so it's a good point to, like, even if you don't do a full interview, let's say the anesthesiologist does the interview and they just kind of let you know what's going on, at least look at the airway. Because sometimes, like, the anesthesiologist might be like, oh, okay, like, they'll give you like the history and everything is fine. They look at the airway and they're like, okay, like, it don't look great, because they've been doing this for a while, and maybe you've been doing it for a while too, but like, maybe they like, okay, I could get this just DL, and then you get in there and you like, well, they like the teeth falling apart, like I would have loved to have a glass scope for this, you know what I mean? So trust your anesthesiologist, but also go look for yourself. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I will do pre-ops. I'll pre-op maybe my first patient, and if the second one's there, I should have time to pre-op that one too, just to say hi and make sure they see a familiar face. So when we go to the OR, they're like, oh, I've met her. This random person isn't pushing drugs into my body. I mean, I'll still be random, but you know what I mean. After that, we'll go set up the room and then just chill until they're kind of ready to roll back with the patient. So I am going to stop telling y'all. Honestly, I'm going to just stop thinking about, like, if I look at the schedule before and I'm like, okay, it shouldn't be a long day. I'm just going to stop doing that, because I think at this point I'm just jinxing myself, because the cases that we had today, again, 8 o'clock start, just like yesterday, wasn't supposed to be too crazy, and they weren't crazy, but like, they were longer than what people anticipated them to be. So it is going on 4 o'clock, which is not a bad day. It could be worse, right? But yeah, it definitely went longer than what I was expecting it to go. And so at the end, so typically on Fridays, if we're at the hospital, sorry guys, hold on, let me get out of here. Typically on Fridays, between the AAs, if we're at the hospital, we just kind of see who has the most hours, and whoever has the most hours can, like, that's the order that we can leave. And so me and Michael were actually pretty close today. Sorry, I need the maps, guys. We were pretty close today, so we ended up rock, paper, scissoring, and your girl won. Okay. So that's how I am getting to leave. But yeah, today, I'm not gonna lie, today I think, and I only did one case. I did one case that wasn't supposed to be nearly as long as what it was, and it was. So I'm excited to be going home. Today is one of those days though where I feel like, girl, treat yourself. Like, why not? You work hard for the money, I think. So I only had one case, and I had a lot of time between, like, for it to start and, like, after. I was kind of waiting around to see if another case was going to go. But during this time, I had contacted vocational services, like vocational rehab services, for my brother while I lived in San Antonio. Okay, so this was back in October. Now it is October now. Okay, so they're calling me today, asking me information about Colin to get everything, together, get his profile together. So I'm talking to the lady, and she's like, oh, is Colin there? Like, I need to speak with Colin. And I'm like, hey, like, I'm his sister. Like, I'll be the one who you're actually communicating with, because he's not going to be able to communicate well with you over the phone, because one, he can't hear, and it's over the phone, so he won't be able to read your lips. Okay, because a lot of times if he can't hear what you're saying, he'll just go to reading your lips. I said, you'll be talking to me. And she was like, well, I'd like to have both of y'all on the phone. And I just have like some questions to ask him. And I was like, I'm going to be your number one point in contact. All of your questions that you have to ask, you can ask me. I have all of his information. That's going to have to be the way we do it. He's not going to be able to, you know what I mean? And so she kind of aggravated me with that a little bit, because how many times I got to tell you, girl? You know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the call, right? Because I'm at work, so I say, well, let's schedule a call so that I can give you all the information that you need, because right now I'm waiting, like I'm at work. And so she says, okay, we set a time, we set a meeting, all the things. And so at the end of the conversation, she goes, yeah, let me just confirm your address. So I give her the new address, because obviously I'm in El Paso now. And she goes, oh, wait, so you just recently moved and we're not going to be able to, you're going to have to call vocational services for El Paso. And I was like, first of all, I did not recently move. I called y'all a year ago and you're just now reaching out to me. So this is not recent. Y'all, I don't know what's going on with y'all's system. It's slow, but you're just now reaching out to me. And so that aggravated me too, because it was just like, now we've been on this call for nothing. And y'all took a year to get back to me for nothing. And so she was like, well, I can call, I can give you the number to call the El Paso Vocational Rehab. And I was like, don't worry about it. I've already done that. I've done that. I guess I'll hear from them in a year, like I heard from you. Like, I'm just a little frustrated. And I feel like more so that's the reason why I want to treat myself, not because of work, just because, you know how everything just kind of like compiles and things. So yeah, that's what's been going on for today. But at the end of the day, I'm still blessed. Like today definitely could have gone left. So I'm grateful and I'm blessed. All right, I am gonna see y'all later. And if not, thank y'all for sticking with me on this chit chat, get ready with me to go to work type of day, okay? And I will see y'all on the next one, because y'all are about to die and I don't have another battery. So thank y'all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what's going on in y'all's anesthesia lives, or honestly just y'all's regular lives. Like, how do y'all treat y'all selves? Like after y'all have like maybe not a rough day, but maybe you need a pick me up or something. What do y'all do? Y'all go get ice cream or something? Because I thought about that too. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the next one.